Hello all. So this is a course which is on embedded systems and whose code is 18EC62. This is the code of embedded systems. Okay, normally this course is made for VTU students according to VTU syllabus, correct? Okay, so what are the syllabus? In the syllabus, first we'll learn the course learning objectives. This course will enable students to explain the architectural features on instructions of 32-bit microcontroller, okay, ARM Cortex M3. Then it is used to develop programs using the various instructions of ARM Cortex M3 and C language for different applications. Then it is used to understand the basic hardware components and their selection method based on the characteristics and attributes of an embedded system. Okay, and also after running this course, it is used to develop the hardware software co-design and firmware design approaches. And also it is used for explain the need of a real-time operating system for embedded system applications. And that means after the completion of the course, we can be able to do all these 4 points that has been referred over here. Then what is the syllabus? The syllabus is that ARM 32-bit microcontroller. Then the second model is ARM Cortex M3 instruction sets and programming. The third one is embedded system components. Then the fourth one is embedded system design components, and the fifth one is RTOS and IDE for embedded system design. So what are the textbooks? Normally the textbooks are Joseph U. That is nothing but the definitive guide to the ARM Cortex M3 second edition. Okay. So this book is available even in the internet also. If you want, you can download it. Okay, and it is a free way. If you want, you can download it. And this was published in the year 2010. And the second book is Shibu KV, which is nothing but Introduction to Embedded Systems. Okay, and it is published by Tata McGraw-Hill. Okay, and in the end it is of second edition. Okay, please just note down this. Okay. Then what is the syllabus of ARM 32-bit microcontroller? The syllabus of ARM 32 microcontroller is, it includes Thumb2 technology. It includes Thumb2 technology and applications of ARM. Then it includes architecture of ARM Cortex M3, then various units in the architecture, then debugging support, general purpose registers, special registers, exceptions, interrupts, stack operation and reset sequence. So this is the syllabus of ARM 32-bit microcontroller. That is the first model. Then you can find out that what is ARM Cortex M3 processor. The ARM Cortex M3 processor is the first of the Cortex generation of processors released by ARM in 2006 and was primarily designed to target 32-bit microcontroller market. Okay. So basically we have Cortex processors as Cortex M0, Cortex M1, Cortex M2, then M3, Cortex M3, like this. We are having around till 12. So this is the Cortex family of processors. These will fall under to a Cortex family of processors, which is prepared by which company? Which is prepared by the company called as ARM. The Cortex M3 processor provides excellent performance at low gate count and comes with many new features previously available only in the high-end processors. Okay, previously available only in the high-end processors. Then what are the features of the Cortex processors? The features of the Cortex processors is, okay. What are the features of Cortex M3 processors? The features of the Cortex M3 processors are, first one is greater performance and efficiency, right? So it is going to give you greater performance and efficiency. So it means what? Allowing more work to be done without increasing the frequency or power requirement. Okay, it is used for doing the more work, okay, without increasing the frequency or power requirement. Then it is used for low power consumption, enabling longer battery life. Okay, so because of low power, okay, so it enables longer battery life, and then especially critical in portable products, including the wireless networks and networking applications. Then it is going to give you enhanced determinism, then improved code density, lower cost solutions, and wide choice of development tools, right? So why to mean by code density? Code density, improved code density, because here we are using RISC processors. Here we are using RISC processors. So it means what? Whenever I am using RISC processors, I will be removing the CISC, that is a complex part of the instructions. When I remove the RISC instruction, CISC complex part, then the code density gets improved. Code density gets improved. That means I can write more code within a given amount of space. Then as there are many development tools are available, so that's why they can be used for lower cost solutions. They can be used for lower cost solutions. Then the next part is, this is the main point, okay, which is nothing but which speaks about the difference of microprocessors and microcontrollers. Okay, in the diagram you can see that microprocessor, okay, all are connected externally, whereas in microcontroller you can see that on every one board every component is been there, right? This is the main difference. Right? So microprocessor is a heart of a computer system, okay, whereas microcontroller is the heart of embedded systems. That we should know it, right? So normally microprocessor is used for what? Microprocessor is used for in a computer system. So that's why it forms a heart of a computer system. Whereas the microcontroller, normally it is used in embedded system, okay, and it is just a processor. That means memory and I/O components have to be connected externally. So for example, you can see it over here. This is a microprocessor wherein all has to be connected externally, right? So nothing has been connected internally. Since the memory and I/O are present internally, the circuit is very small. Whereas over here, you can see that this is a microcontroller, whereas RAM, ROM, everything is been on a single chip only. It cannot be used in a compact system, hence it is inefficient, whereas this is used in a compact systems. Cost of the entire system increases. Okay, why? Because you need to buy the RAM separately and then I/O port separately, so that's why the cost of the system increases. Okay, and over here the cost of this entire system is low. Due to external components, the entire power consumption is high, okay, and then hence it is not suitable to use with the devices which are running on stored power like batteries. Okay, so as you are connecting externally, so it means what? Each device has to be connected to the power supply. So that's why the power requirement over here is very high. Whereas over here, everything will be connected on only one board. So this will be given to only one power supply, the complete kit. So only one power supply is sufficient to switch on the microcontroller. Most of the microprocessors do not have power saving features, right? Whereas in microcontrollers, you are having power saving modes. Since memory and I/O components are all external, each instruction will need external operation. Hence, it is relatively slower, right? So that means what? If I want to write a ROM instruction to fetch a RAM instruction, so it has to flow from the data bus, then it has to communicate it. Okay, and anyway, whenever you have connected externally, the data communication will be slower. Whereas over here, most of the operations are internal, okay, and hence speed is fast. Microprocessor have less number of registers, hence more operations are memory based. Okay, whereas over here they are having more number of registers, hence the programs are easier to write. And then microprocessors are based on von Neumann architecture, whereas this is based on Harvard architecture, and mainly used for personal computers. Okay, so this we have to note it down. So the microprocessor are mainly used for what? Personal computers. Whereas this one, microcontroller, is normally used for embedded systems. What are those embedded systems? Those embedded systems can be washing machine, MP3 player, and all. Okay. Then the next part is instruction set development. In short, it is called as ISA also. Which is nothing but instruction set architecture. So, what do you mean by instruction? A set of commands used to execute a certain task is nothing but what? Instruction set. A set of commands used to execute a certain task is called as instruction. Enhancement and extension of instruction sets by the ARM processors has been one key of the driving force of the architecture evolution. That means what? an instruction set is first developed, then it is going to be enhanced, so that it can be used for the next version of the processors. Historically, ARM7, okay, ARM7 used to use two different instruction sets supported by ARM processor. That is, one is ARM instructions, which is of 32 bits, and second one is thumb instructions of 16 bits. During the program execution, the processor can be dynamically switched between ARM state and the thumb state. Okay, that's why this ARM is very, very powerful. Why it is very, very powerful? Because you are using ARM instructions, okay, and you are using a processor which can execute 32-bit and 16-bit simultaneously. So that's why it becomes very important to know that ARM is very, very powerful. Then in the instruction set development, we are having, as I told you, instruction set architecture is a very high efficient and powerful instruction set that delivers significant benefits in terms of use, code size and performance. Okay. Then what is thumb 2 technology and instruction set architecture, right? So you can find out that, okay, so this is a set theory. As a part of set theory, you can find out that the inner circle is having 16-bit. It is surrounded by the Cortex M3. Okay, it is surrounded by the Cortex M3. That means what? Cortex M3 supports what? 16-bit. And also this part is 32-bit. This part is 32-bit. Okay, so that means what? This Cortex M3 processor. Includes 16-bit thumb instructions as well as 32-bit thumb instructions. The upper circle is the one which represents that, okay, there is one instruction set which supports both 32-bit and 16-bit instructions. Okay, so what is 32-bit instruction? It is nothing but ARM instruction. What is 16-bit instruction? It is nothing but thumb instruction. So this part of the instruction sets, they support only 16-bit. This part of the instruction sets, they support 32-bit. Okay, and also show that 32-bit instructions supports 16-bit instructions also. Okay, but the other part is, the upper circle is one which supports both 32-bit as well as 16-bit. Okay, which supports both 32-bit and 16-bit. Okay, so normally this is called as thumb 2. Technology. Okay, normally this is called as thumb 2 technology. Okay, so we'll stop here, and in the next video we'll study the rest part. Okay, thank you.